Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome today. Here to help you.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes, yes, yes. The Don alongside the Donette.
So I'm going to tell everyone today, I'm going to tell everyone early. Today, you're not going to get all the exuberance you usually get from me.
She's lying. You're lying. Stop lying to the public.
Because I am tired today. But we do have some energy in the room that
Yes, we do.
will help compensate for my lack of energy. Dave, please introduce our special guest.
I will, definitely. I don't think there's enough words I can go ahead and describe this gentleman's feats, let alone who this gentleman represents in our community. He's a former member of the A.K.A. He is a founding member of the Zero Gun Violence movement here in Toronto. A long-standing community supporter and as well as trailblazer. We like to call him Uncle Louis.
Uncle Louis.
Louis Marsden, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Louis. Remember he said no Louis? He just finished telling you this, you know. He just finished telling you no Louis.
Pardon me. It's still the Queen's English in me. I apologize.
Uncle Louis.
We will get there. Thank you very much for inviting me today. And thanks for the energy in the space and the topic that we're going to discuss today, right? And about challenges facing our community and
Yes.
opportunities. But, I speak a lot about controlling the content and the narrative. And, you guys are doing an awesome job at TCN. And I'm just happy to be here with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
let's
so
do
much.
what we must.
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool.
So we're going to start right at the foundation. And we know that you were part of the A.K.A. for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to give us, that insight, that spark plug. What started it? What was the society like at that point in time, which probably led to the events of starting this movement, and as well as the challenges that you were facing at that point in time?
So the African Canadian Heritage Association started in 1969 as the Black Heritage Program. And this is painful to go through this all the time, but it has to be said. In 1969 in Toronto, a lot of children were coming home, bawling their eyes out. They
Okay.
didn't want to be black. They didn't want everything to do with Africa. They were walking around their house with white powder, talcum powder on their skin, saying they wanted to be white.
Oh, wow.
They were using clothespins on their nose to try and make it look straight,
Okay.
Oh,
right?
boy.
Okay.
And the children coming home bawling. Everything that they saw in the school curriculum
Yeah.
was negative about who they were.
Oh, boy.
And of course, everybody in the school, in the classroom, were picking on them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're coming home bawling their eyes out and saying, this is not me. I want to be somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
right? I want to be white. And they were trying to pretend to be white at home. So the parents got together and said, look, enough is enough. We're going to have to do this ourselves. So they said that they wanted to form an organization that would teach African and Caribbean history in a meaningful and authentic way that showed the true history
Okay.
of our children and and who we are and what we're about. And interestingly, in 1969, when that proposal hit the table, a lot of people in the black community says, no, we don't want to do this because it's going to become a breathing ground for Black Panther Party members.
Okay.
We got to leave bygones, let bygones be bygones, and let's move ahead.
Okay.
And I seldom say this publicly, but the reality is that at that particular time, there was so much internal struggles about the creation of the Black Heritage Program.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't seem as though it was going to happen. However, the director of the East York Education Board said it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
A white man
Mm-hmm.
said it was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And created the space and the opportunity for it to take place. And 48 years later, it has changed its name to African Canadian Heritage Association, and is still in existence and still working on the foundation policies and principles of 1969,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the struggles in terms of the creation should be assigned to us
Yes.
of what we need to overcome. Luckily, we had some strong leaders in our community, some strong parents that said enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
It is in our hands.
Yes.
And we can't leave our children to what was going on in the education system at the time. The fundamental principles, it was about self-sufficiency and self-reliance. We're going to do this ourselves.
Right.
And ACHA does not take money from the government. Everything that we do is about self-funding, self-sufficiency, and the principles of Marcus Garvey.
Right.
And that gives us the opportunity to actually do things the way we want,
Right.
right? And there's always conflict, there's always uncertainty about whether we should accept the money or not, because the money is out there to be had.
Right.
But with that money comes strings attached.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that takes away from the authenticity of the program itself.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen a lot of organizations and programs come and go,
Right.
but ACHA is still there. Right?
Yeah.
And
Very nice.
maybe we should learn from that. Maybe we should learn about it.
Do you find now? With that being said, now with a lot of organizations, a lot of our people have tried many things, right? And of course, they're no longer here. And the ACHA, they've been around for close to 50 years. Was there any type of model or practice that with the ACHA went ahead and enlisted, right, which serves as a blueprint, that could serve as a blueprint for those out there who are either attempting to do something, or maybe those out there who are doing something and want to adjust something, in regards to their daily structure?
That's a big question, because there's so many things that come together in that ACHA world in terms of self-sufficiency, self-reliance.
Okay.
It's about recognition of history,
Mm-hmm.
talking about our history,
Mm-hmm.
not as slavery
Mm-hmm.
and only that chapter.
Mm.
It's about the great empires of Ghana, Shanghai, right, Mali,
Mm.
talking about Kemet, Egypt, right, and the great contributions of our people
Mm-hmm.
to civilization today,
Mm-hmm.
and celebrating it in addition to recognizing it. So we expect the children that go through the ACHA program to stand tall and walk proud about who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen situations in school where an ACHA student would question a teacher
Absolutely.
that's
Right.
teaching history.
Right.
And we have one situation where the teacher says, fortunately in Canada we didn't have slavery. That was only in America.
Right.
And the ACHA student put up her hand and said,
Yeah. Hold on.
Right.
Something's
and the
not right.
teacher did not respond the way that we would expect them to say, yeah, okay, give me more information. The teacher said, no, we didn't have it.
Mm.
And the ACHA student came back to the program, got the material, and went back to the teacher.
Okay.
And she became the residential expert on African history
Okay.
in the school, not only in the classroom, right?
Beautiful.
Right? So you can see,
Mm-hmm.
what do we learn from,
Yes.
right? Like for example, I'm no longer with ACHA because I'm focusing on the zero gun violence issue itself.
Yes, which we'll get to more,
Right.
definitely.
But in terms of history, in Jamaica, where I grew up,
Mm.
we had Columbus Day. We have Discovery Day,
Right.
where Christopher Columbus came and discovered Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
In my eyes, Christopher Columbus is a state-sponsored pirate.
Right.
Like if you look at his resume,
Right.
it's a pirate. Is the same content of a pirate.
Exactly.
Plunder, exploitation, murder,
Right.
seeking gold.
Right.
Like the same resumes exist,
Mm-hmm.
but in Jamaica, we would not celebrate Marcus Garvey, who spoke about self-sufficiency and self-reliance.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to celebrate Christopher Columbus. Something wrong with that picture?
Of course.
Right?
Absolutely.
Of
And this
course.
is what we're passing on to our children.
Mm.
And neglect, a lack of understanding of our contribution
Mm-hmm.
and the adoption of a bogus history
Yeah.
about a European people
Mhm.
that has never had our interests at heart.
Mm-hmm.
Something's wrong with that picture,
Of course.
right?
Of course.
So ACHA is about fixing that,
Yes.
right? And then if you look at ACHA, the history of the program, you look at people like Warren Salmon,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who
Mhm.
runs First Fridays.
Yes.
You look at Tanto Hyman,
Yes.
right? Who was the first principal of the Afrocentric school,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Right? You're looking at Paulette Sr.,
Mm-hmm.
who is the executive director of the YWCA, right? I think she's moved on to a new job right now,
Okay.
right? She's run for political office twice. Like, you look at the people that have come out of the program,
Right.
and you say, holy smokes, right?
Mhm.
There's something good about this program,
Yes.
right?
Definitely.
Cool.
So
Go ahead. Go
I,
ahead.
I
go
do
ahead.
have questions.
Yes. Go ahead.
So one thing I have learned is that you are not afraid to speak your mind. So what I'm looking forward to in this interview is to really hear you. I want to hear, and I want everyone who subscribes to us and listens to us and views us to really hear you and take in what you have to say today. So please understand that when you are here, speak freely. Do not be afraid. Say it. Speak your truth, and let our younger ones hear your truth. If there's something that, because we're gonna be going on a break very shortly. If you wanted to, well, not want to, we're going to capture an audience right now. Tell our viewers what to expect from the next 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
With us.
Yes.
I think it's the challenges that we face as a community, and are we ready to face those challenges? And for those that are ready, what should we be doing, and how do we go about this? Because I don't have another 400 years to undo what has happened to us.
Right.
True.
You know, we've got to become the tip of the spear now, and we've got to make change because we have a commitment to the next generation to provide something better than what they've been receiving or what we received. So yeah, so we have to be honest. We have to be brutally honest, and sometimes it means challenging our own existence,
Yes.
which is based on someone else's input and not our input.
Right.
For example, for me, the slave trade did not happen.
Okay.
It's a figment of everybody's imagination. It's a construct by a people to pacify us.
Okay.
For example, we were not slaves. When they went to Africa, it was lawyers, it was doctors, it was mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, it was tradespeople, it was managers. They were not slaves. And as for the word trade,
Yeah. There was
Excuse
no
me?
change. Yeah. There was
no
no
change.
like I
change.
wasn't like this is
No
not rocket
change.
science.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not slaves and it's not trade. But somebody constructed these two words and put them together to make it seem plausible. And we buy into it. If we take those two words out of every history book and replace it with what really happened, which is an African genocide,
Yes.
everything changes.
Yes. The script changes.
It does.
And our
Absolutely.
people change. And that's not what's going on. We're bought into, we're drinking their Kool-Aid and we're making the Kool-Aid and passing it down to our children. And then we're wondering why our children are having difficulty. Right? Imagine if the Toronto District School Board changed those two words and just wiped them all out of the school books and replaced it with African genocide. It would put the responsibility and the accountability in the right place.
Yes.
But when you, but think of the people that sat down around a table and said, we're going to do this. Think of their mindset. Like these people were good,
Yeah.
but we better come up with a better plan. Right? And take those two words out
Yes.
and see what happens. Right? And our people are going to say, no, Lou, let bygones be bygones. Let's move on, right? And let's forget about it. No, we're not going to forget it, right?
Right.
What was the reality? What took place? And that will inform our children about what took place and how we should move forward. Slave trade has to go.
Thank you. When we come back, now this is only the beginning. He's going to bring more fire for us. I know it. I feel better already.
You got some energy.
Yeah, I have a little bit of energy. We'll be
Told you
right
about
back.
the sandwich, right?
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
I'm the meat and you guys are the bread.
Tell you, we're back.
We're playing musical chairs.
Yes, we are.
So we wanted to put Uncle Louie right in the middle so that he is our focus today. Can we bring this? Actually, you know what? Let me move this mic here. And I'll take this mic over here. There you go.
Live
better.
TV, folks. Live TV.
It's okay. This is what happens. We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. Thank you. All right. So we are back.
Yes.
And Mr. Rankin, go ahead. Lead the way, sir.
Okay, so now you've transitioned from the A.K.A, right, and you've now started your movement, the Zero Gun Violence Movement. Tell us a bit more about the organization, founding members, so on and so forth, and of course, its central aim.
Okay, Zero Gun Violence Movement. So I'm from the corporate world. I'm a business manager, an operations manager. My department, after how many years, got outsourced to India.
Okay.
And I got a generous severance package, and I said, I'm going to recalibrate and find out what am I committed to now.
Right.
So the issue of gun violence was rampant in our community.
Yes.
And we just had the Eaton Center shooting, we had the dancing shooting, and I said enough is enough. So what I did is I brought some community organizations together.
Okay.
Young and Potential Fathers, Black Daddies Club,
Okay.
Redemption Reintegration Services, More Than a Haircut. And we put that on the table and said, what's going on?
Yes.
Because my work in the community with young people started in the 1970s when the police were shooting us on a regular basis. Every weekend you'd look at it, another person was shot, and the names are out there, Lester Donaldson,
Right.
Buddy Evans. It just goes on. And the police were never held accountable for it. And then now we're shooting ourselves. So it became an issue, and I said, what do we do? And in the corporate world, there's something called management by objectives. State clearly your objective.
Right.
And then you find the resources to achieve it. So I said, what is our objective here? So I proposed the concept of zero gun violence. And people looked at me and said, that can't happen.
Yeah.
There's going to be gun violence.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm just stating the objective.
That's the objective.
And I'm not going to compromise on that.
Right.
That's good.
And how do we achieve it?
Mm-hmm.
And then I also added the piece about the fact that we already have zero gun violence in the city of Toronto, but it's only for certain people and certain communities. So I'm not asking for the impossible. I'm not asking us to create utopia. We already know what zero gun violence looks like in a society.
Right.
The difference between living in Rosedale and living in Rexdale.
Yes.
So then people started buying into it. And I said, you know what? Let's go there. Zero gun violence movement. This is not an organization because we don't even have a president. We don't have a head office.
Okay.
Right? We just work across the city of Toronto with organizations, agencies, and programs, over 40 of them, that subscribe to Zero Gun Violence Movement.
Beautiful.
And so we brought them all together, and we've been discussing what are we going to be doing to fix this problem. And it's not easy, because I think that a lot of the stakeholders, whether it's government, whether it's educators, whether it's the justice system, they've bought into the fact that we should have a divided city where people can live in peace and harmony.
Okay.
And certain people must
Don't
live.
get that.
Don't get it. And I'm
Yeah.
saying enough is enough. No. We're not going to accept that, right? We can't accept the fact that in Rosedale you wake up in the morning and you have a choice of what your breakfast is going to look like, what your cereal is, how your egg is going to be done,
Right.
what's going to be in your lunch pail, which clothes are you going to wear to school. And you have a smile on your face because you go to school, you know you're going to have fun and you're going to learn something.
Yeah.
But then you wake up in Rexdale and your breakfast is maybe a cold slice of pizza from yesterday,
Right.
because you have no choice. You have a frown on your face. Your clothes are the same ones you wore to school yesterday.
Right.
Right?
Right.
For the older kids, they might want to smoke a spliff before they go to school, right? Because they say it calms them down. This is the reality.
This is reality.
Right?
Yes.
So I'm saying to myself, where's the political leadership? Why do we accept this? And why is that if people are suffering from gun violence or living in these type of situations look like me and you? We said no. We said, hell no. Right? We're not going to accept this anymore. Right? So we've been working across the community. We're not an organization, as I said. We don't have a head office. We don't have a president. It's a group of people that are volunteers that are working with the young people. Right?
That's amazing.
To get to this objective of zero gun violence. Look, I wasn't born yesterday.
Right.
Right? I'm not a rocket scientist, and I'm not a brain surgeon. Right? But I'm known. If we work properly together, we can get close to zero gun violence. Right? There's no light switch. I'm not supposed to use this phrase, but I am. There's no silver bullet. Right? To solve this problem. This takes more than that.
It's going to
Right.
take some work.
Right.
Yes.
So that's where zero gun violence came about.
Okay.
And for 4 years now, we've been hitting the streets 24/7 at some days.
Wow.
Working with a population that is begging for help, and it's not coming.
All right. So go ahead, Mr. David. I told you already today's
Thank
your
you.
day, you know.
Thank you very much. Because I do have some
Alright.
other questions. Thank you. So now, okay, so you have this movement, and of course, you're now working with some organizations across the city. Speak to us regarding your work involving some of the victims' families,
Yes.
right? How difficult it can be, of course, for them transitioning, whether it's, of course, a year out of the tragic events, 2 years, 10 years, right? And of course, if there's any help for them as well, support-wise.
So the name itself, zero gun violence, a lot of people questioned, is this a good name? Why are you focusing on gun violence? Why don't we just call it violent? No, we're going to deal with gun violence.
Very specific.
We're
Yes.
very specific. Everybody else dealing with violence. And
Yeah.
we're dealing with gun violence.
Yeah.
But the reality, in order to get to zero gun violence, you have to deal with the multiplicity of all the other areas.
Right.
So whether it's justice, whether it's family supports, right? Whether it's education system, right? Whether it's discrimination, whether it's oppression, all those things contribute to gun violence.
Yes.
Because as Dudley Laws, who is one of my mentors, said, none of these kids are born with a gun in their hand.
Right.
Figure it out. How did the gun get there? Then you can solve the problem, right? So the fact of the matter is, zero gun violence movement is about 4 basic things. It's education and awareness.
Okay.
The narrative about gun violence. We are tired of hearing the narrative from the media, from the police, from the government.
Yeah.
We don't trust them,
No.
right? And we work with them to some degree, but they never tell the full story because they've got their own agendas.
Of course.
So it's education and awareness about what's really going on, right? That we've had 100% increase in gun violence, homicides over the last 3 years. Okay, maybe 87%. I just say 100%, but 87% increase in gun violence, homicides over the last 3 years in Toronto.
Oh boy.
And not one political leader.
Has spoken up on this. Yeah.
That is criminal.
Yeah.
That is criminal, right? Because no one wants to deal with it. So, education and awareness, advocacy. How do we change people's policies, program, funding models? And the last piece is engagement. Those are the things that we work on. And the engagement piece goes back to your question: who do we engage? And we engage those people that are responsible for the violence, but we also engage those people that are victims of the violence. It's difficult at times, but a lot of people that have been responsible for the violence have done their crime, have done their time, and they want to change their lives.
Right.
And who best to listen to?
Of course, somebody who's
Right.
gone to the.
But then also, we work with organizations such as like UMOVE, United Mothers Opposing Violence Everywhere, which is mothers who have lost their children to gun violence, mothers who have lost their 2 sons, their only 2 sons, or their
Yeah.
1 son, and they want to continue with their life, but they cannot continue with their life because they will never be the same. You know, there's no closure when you
No.
lose your children to gun violence,
No.
right? The smile on your face, we know that is just there for show, because the grieving, the trauma, right, continues 24/7. So there's victim service supports out there for them, but is it culturally sensitive for people in our community? Hell no, right? Is it enough? Hell no, right? And they don't walk around with a sand on their forehead saying, you know, guess what? You know, I lost my son to gun violence.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
Right.
Right. So when you engage the victims and the people that are perpetrating, I think we have a better chance of finding out how do we find that solution.
Right.
Right. And so we go into schools. We take sometimes the mothers and sometimes the people that are responsible. Keeping in mind that you're not going to find our story on the front page of the Toronto Star, right? Because we're not there about promoting what we're doing. It's about making a difference.
Right.
Right.
And we got to give these people voice and opportunity. Even those people that are responsible for the crime. Let them come to the school. Let them come to the universities and talk to these social workers and says, I wasn't born this way. This is what happened. And me trying to get out wasn't a possibility. Like, you know, we had one guy the other day, He said that when he was 20, he was surprised he had made it that far. He had given up on life before he was 20 years old.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's
Right,
crazy.
you know? But what could we have done for him to give him some perspective on life beyond 24 hours? Right? You know, their lifespan is, what am I going to do in the next 24 hours?
Correct.
Most people are talking, what am I going to do about 24 years?
Yes.
Right.
These kids can't get out of a mindset.
Day to
Day
day.
to
Day-to-day
day.
existence.
Day to
Right.
day.
And then we need to invite them to the table, because the solution, it comes out of their mouths also, because they know what they went through, right? The mothers that have lost, it's a different story, because there's so much that is not spoken about,
Right.
about the grief and stuff, right?
Okay, well, again, I told you. You know what I like about it is you speak so passionately, and there's anger there, but it's controlled. You're directing this energy towards this movement. It's controlled. I know it's controlled. I see it's controlled. I know when someone's trying to control their anger. Trust me. I do it every day. So we're going to get into more of this when we come back in a few minutes. Dave, do you want to send out the number for people if they'd like to call in?
That's 647-931-4701.
Yes.
That is 647-931-4701. Call in, ask your questions. We have a legend in our city.
Legendary.
That's right.
We'll be back.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
I'd like to welcome you back to Musical Chairs on Here to Help You. As you can see, the only person who has now kept his seat is Uncle Louie. Dave and I were having some technical difficulties today, but it's okay.
It's all
You
right.
guys are still here, and we thank you for that. We
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yes. Please, go ahead. Start with a question.
Okay.
Can we talk about anger?
Yes, this is what. How did you know I was going to ask you? I would like for you to talk about the things that infuriate you while dealing with, and the thing about it too, something that I think a lot of people don't understand is when you're working with the community, at least for me, sometimes even working with my own can be very infuriating. Like, it's very difficult sometimes. Maybe I'm just young and not able to control it. Well, I do control it, but tell me some of these things that, like, when you're working for the people, and also some of the other things that you deal with, what gets to you, where sometimes you're just like,
No. I'm not the type of person to just kiss my teeth and just accept things. Right? And they told me a long time ago, if you're not part of the solution,
you're part of the problem. That's right.
And I can't accept that. I'm not going to be part of the problem. I'm going to go down fighting, and there's no bones about it, right? And this fight comes in different ways and shapes, right? Because fighting against the oppressive system or the racist system and stuff is one fight. But within our community, our lack of resolve and commitment to making a difference, that angers me. Some people introduce me as an angry black man. And, they have all right to do that, because I cannot be happy with our current situation.
That's right.
Based on our history,
Yes.
what we've been through, and the fact that we're still standing, but we still have this dependency model on others.
Right.
Whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's education. Like, I've been warned about this again. The Jewish people do not go to the Germans and say, tell me about my history.
That's right.
Right.
They already know the type of it's gonna be tainted.
The Germans will say, guess what, we're a prisoner reduction plan or something like that, right?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But we go to the same people that enslaved us for 405 and continue to do it. And we said, can you tell us about our history?
Yes.
And our traditions, our values, what we're about? And we take it in, and then we did it for our children. We can't be happy with that. So a lot of people say, Louis, like, let bygones be bygones and let's just move on. No, let no bygones be bygones, right? We're going to deal with it, and we're going to use that as an impetus, as a motivator for us to change what's going on today. So do I advocate taking all our kids out of school? No. I'm saying that, no, what I'm advocating for right now is the fact that we have to address the hidden chapters in our history, and then we have to be the ones that go out and educate our children.
That's right.
So that they can walk tall and talk proud again about who they are.
Absolutely.
That's the least that we can do. We have these dependency models where we depending on government. ACHA, that program existed for 48 years, going on 50 years, because self-sufficiency, self-reliance, self-determination. We have to get more of that, right? It's not going to be easy, right? But we cannot work in silos. We cannot be working against each other.
Right.
I spoke a little bit about the other day about it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
And historically, that is correct. But where did the village go? Where did the village go? Can someone explain to me? Like, I grew up in Spanish Town in Jamaica, and there was a pot of food.
Right.
And you know how much people ate out of that pot of food?
Yeah.
Right.
Right? On summer days, we used to go out and we used to, have fun. We used to catch a bird or something. You know how much people ate from that little bird?
Right.
Right? And a little degge piece of meat, right? And we were
love
happy.
that word. Degge. You see?
Right?
Uncle Lee, we're going to explain the degge why it's so important.
Right? We had a pot and we put some dumpling in there, right? And if we could get some banana, everybody ate from it.
Okay.
Right? If I did something bad in school, which was normal, I had to answer. You know how much family members I had to answer to?
Of course.
Correct.
And they weren't even blood family, Everybody wanted a piece.
Yes.
Right? To tell me that I got to get myself right.
Right.
Right? But they cared. Right? Everybody lived close together. We're the extended family. We could reach out and touch. Right? Something happened in one yard, everybody knew about
Everyone
it.
knew.
Right.
Right? That was the village. It was a caring. It was a love for each other that existed despite the circumstances, right? Where did the village go? And we don't have that village. We live now in a contemporary Western society where the village is all about me.
Yes.
Right?
And my immediate family,
right?
immediate people.
And rest assured, because of the system, the way it's set up, the pressures and problems that we face are a lot. That's reality. But how do we get out of this mess? How do we get out of it so that our children have a better future?
Right.
They have something to look forward to. And we're not doing a good job of it because we spend all our time against each other, right? Like sometimes I listen to people speak and they can speak for like 2-hour conversation and have nothing positive to say about nothing. Right? This is in our community.
It's very true.
Yes.
It's
Right?
very true.
Right? And I'm saying to myself, let's take a step back, right? Let's understand our situation and let's start thinking about what are we going to be passing on to the next generation. And is this the best that we have? I say, hell no.
Yeah.
We have a lot in us. Because I know that when we come together, even whether it's gun violence or whether it's our history and culture and stuff,
Right.
we can accomplish much.
Yes.
But we have to get out of this current mode where the negativism and the me against you situation runs our daily lives. Because the oppressor is not going to make it easy for us. We talk about power relation. Who has the power? Who doesn't? We don't have the power now. And the people that are in power are not going to voluntarily give it to us.
Right.
So we've got to be ready to take it. And we start with what we can contribute ourselves. So stop telling me about what other organizations or people are not doing. Tell me, what are you doing?
Right.
Right? Tell me, what are you doing?
That's right.
And then we can put that together. So what angers me is the fact that we have so much potential and we're not taking advantage of it, and we're waiting for somebody else to do it for us. And that's not our history. The fact that we're still standing now is testament to what we're about.
Yes.
Right? And how are we going to grab the bull by the horn and blaze ahead? Right? You know, how are we going to do it? So, am I a happy man? No, I'm not happy. Am I angry? I'm angry most of the time.
But you look so happy and calm. How do you do this?
It's a survival technique. So at the same time, yes, I look at the children. I spent some time in West Africa.
Okay.
In a village for destitute children.
Oh, boy.
And these are children that didn't have parents to look after them. So I was on a volunteer work project, and this was one of the turning points in my life, right? You know, working with these children that had so little, but were so happy, right? You know, I remember one day I woke up in the morning and I took out my Colgate toothpaste. It was in a box. I threw the box in the garbage, brushed my teeth, and went along the merry work that was scheduled for that day. But by the midday, I saw the kids running around in the village. And I'm saying, okay, there's nothing scheduled. I don't know what's going on, right? You know. So I walk up to them to see what they're doing. They're taking the Colgate toothpaste box that I threw away as garbage, and they turned it into a truck with a driver and wheels. And I'm saying to myself, Louis, you were here complaining because the bus is late, right? And these guys are turning a Colgate toothpaste into a box, into a bus, right? So it sort of refocuses your priorities in life.
A perspective change.
A perspective change. And I'm saying if they can do that. So when I came back to Toronto after 4 months in West Africa and Ghana, like I started looking at things differently. Right? Why am I complaining about everything? Why don't I go out there and make a change?
Do it.
So that's one of my drivers.
Right.
And it drives my anger. But I have to be careful about using that anger in a positive way as fuel.
Yes.
Right? To make the changes that are necessary. And this, as I said, you know, it's not going to be like a light switch you just turn on and off.
Right.
But we have to be doing this.
Right.
Like our history does not allow us to sit down on the sidelines and be bystanders at this particular time. Now we have to rise up. We have to become giants again.
Yes.
And fulfill our true purpose. But we have to do it together.
We have to do it together. That idea of community is, I think, lost sometimes with us. We don't understand that. And you know what? I used to be the angry, visibly angry about some of the things that are happening in our community. But I've come to understand that, you know what, some of us just don't know. So it is people like yourself, Dave, myself, who have to understand this and then work with them, understand it and then work with them and show them, right? Teach them.
Yes, because it has to start somewhere.
Yes.
But if you've been through the system for so long, you become part of the system. And how do you get people to break away from it and become independent? But we have to support each other.
Right.
We cannot be the first one to throw one of our brothers or sisters under the bus.
Right.
We must be the last one.
Yes.
But right now, sometimes we're the first one.
Very first.
Right?
Very first.
Where we're supposed to be extending a hand and trying to make a difference.
Right.
We're holding back. Right? So when somebody is involved in gun violence or someone has made a mistake, are we the ones that should advocate to lock them up and throw away the key? Or should we be the ones that just open the door
Rehabilitate.
and rehabilitate?
Absolutely.
Or are we going to allow the system to rehabilitate them? Or are we going to welcome them back into our community?
Right.
Right?
Right.
These kids are asking for help.
Yes.
Gun violence doesn't happen
overnight. It's true.
Right?
It's very
There's
true.
a sequence of events that takes place. But we all know somebody that is struggling. And are we there to provide the help and support to get them back in the race, right? You know? No, we're not. Sometimes we're the last ones, right? So this is what fuels me, right? Because I know that we can do better. We must do better, and we will do better, because there's more and more people that are now saying we're tired of being a passenger in our own life.
Right.
Time to be the driver.
Ah.
We've been there before.
Yes.
So we're going back there.
Right.
We're getting out of the back seat and we're going to jump to the front seat and we're going to start driving. And whether we win or lose is going to be in our hands, not going to be in someone else's hands.
That's right. It's our decisions, our choices.
Yep.
I spoke about this. I was speaking on Saturday, and that's one of the things I said. I said, listen, for many of us, we find ourselves in situations, And I'm like, you have to understand, though, every decision you have made to this very point has gotten you to this situation. Some of the things are out of our hands. A lot of the things that happened, I'm not going to say slave trade because now you've corrected me, that have happened in our past has left us at a disadvantage.
Yes.
But you can only play the victim for so long. At some point, you've got to say, okay, this has happened to me. Now what am I going to do to move forward?
And it has to be collective.
Yes.
For collective impact.
Absolutely.
Because it's a burden to do this by yourself.
You can't.
You
You
can't.
can't.
You start to question and challenge
Yes.
yourself. Your people.
Yes.
Start to
Family
question
and challenge
That's
what
right.
you're doing.
It's true.
Right?
Mhm.
But it's like one stick, you break it easy. You put 4 sticks together, you try
It's
and break that
much harder
Yes.
to break.
and see what happens.
Yes.
So, and I want to spend some time on how do we move forward
Yes.
in the next
Yes.
segment.
By
But
all
at the
means.
same time, that's just a heads up. It's a collective response.
That's right.
Wonderful.
And we'll be right back with Uncle Louie.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Yes, and we're back here to help you, the Don, Dave Rankin, alongside the Donette, Simone, Jennifer Smith, and our guest, Uncle Louie. So in the last segment, of course, at the end, we briefly mentioned that in this segment, we're going to talk about the things that we can do to move forward. And as I was listening to you speak that last segment, and it's so imperative, where it's now, the slogan should now become unity or death. Right. And with that being said, now with some organizations now springing up out of the woodworks, also wanting a unified approach to dealing with our circumstances out there. A, what is your take in regards to these organizations now springing up? And B, in respect to now moving forward in your eyes, what does this look like for you?
Why don't you give me easy questions?
Because we get an easy answer. We don't want no easy answer. That's why.
You know what? In terms of moving forward, it's not as difficult as it seems at times.
Okay.
It's difficult because we try to take this on individually.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? We live in a society where personal gain is more important than family gain or even community gain.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of these organizations and a lot of them start with great intentions but get lost in personal egos
Yes.
or funding models
Yes.
that are dependent on government approval.
That's right.
Right? There's no longevity. We can't sustain that and really benefit our community.
Okay.
We have to become, when I talk about drivers, when I spoke about that the other day, about, we have to stop being passengers, we have to be drivers. One of the young men I work with says, Louis, it goes deeper than that. He said, we have to own the car.
That's right.
He says, we have to own the car too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying, yeah, this is a bigger thing out there, right?
Right, yeah.
So we have to become business entrepreneurs. We have to have confidence in what we can contribute.
Okay.
We have to find things that we love and we have to do it well. We cannot have this dependency model where we're depending on others to write a check to us when they're ready to do it and how much, right? We have to rebuild that family unit, right? I know we're struggling right now.
Right.
Like when you look at the people that are involved, say in gun violence, we can almost write the profile. Neglect, exclusion, denial, education problems, issues with poverty, oppression, justice system. We know when you put that all together, what's likely to happen, right? We have to get there early, right?
Okay.
We talk about, everybody's talking about the roots of violence and the roots of gun violence. We don't even speak about the roots anymore. We talk about the seeds. Who is planting the seeds? And why are we still planting them? Because sometimes when you get to the roots, it's too late. So if we're going to fix this, let's look at the family. Let's look at the family structure.
Yes.
In a contemporary Western society where the mother is out working, going to school, the father is struggling to find a new role in this Western society.
Okay.
The parenting responsibilities have been abdicated over to the government, where you can't even discipline your child. Right? You know, I'm going to call 911 if you raise your voice at me again. Right? You know how much spankings I got when I was a kid? I don't even call them spankings. Right? But it sort of molded the character that you see right now.
Of course.
Right? In terms of fear and stuff, right? So we have to look at that family structure. We have to start showing love for each other again.
That's it.
And caring for each other again.
That's right.
And putting those things at the forefront, realizing the multiple gains and benefits that we can get from it.
Yes.
Right? We have opportunities for education. I was challenging a young man yesterday. I said, look, tell me something. What would it take for you to learn something new every day? To go out there, be bold, be aggressive. When I went to bed last night, I knew this. But today I'm going to learn something different. I'm going to learn something new. Right? That speaks to continuous learning.
Right.
But also continuous development. We have to do that. We have to challenge your children. Every day we have the technology, right? We have a lot of things that we didn't have 20 years ago. How do we take advantage of technology?
Yes.
Right.
To make our world better. When we talk about zero gun violence and the fact that it exists, we know the characteristics of a healthy community, of a safe community. Why can't we work towards getting those characteristics away? Are we going to be dependent on the government to make it happen? Hell no. Right? Hell no. Because some of their policies and programs and decisions have set this in motion.
Absolutely.
So we have to be bigger than that.
Right.
Right? We have to get together. I remember back home, well, in Jamaica, on the veranda, there used to be a discussion. The elders used to get together. The mothers used to get together.
You just said veranda. I just want to let so you heard yourself.
It's veranda. That's what it was.
That's
right?
what it was.
Yeah, on the veranda.
Yeah.
What is it? Okay. So we used to be on the front porch. We're not on the front porch in Jamaica, but we used to be out there, and there used to be a discussion taking place, right? On the street corner, there used to be a discussion. There used to be an interchange of ideas, right? We had music. Get up, stand up for your rights.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Give your lady a standing ovation.
Right.
Right. And
Yes.
there was also, and I shot the sheriff too, but there was certain things taking place.
There
Right.
was still a message.
It was a message.
There was still a
Right.
message.
About the upliftment of. So when I was struggling as a young person, the music became my crutch. Right. The musicians were speaking about it. Right. And that became a valuable tool in my personal development, even today. Right. What do our kids have right now? What is the music telling them? Right?
True.
I could sing something, but I
No,
don't
no,
think
we're-
you want to hear it.
So all those things that made us powerful, successful, positive, right? They've been ripped away from us.
Yes.
What are we going to replace it with? So we have new opportunities, right? We have a new energy. We have a new technology. Let's see how we can interface that with what we're doing in a meaningful way, because our children deserve a lot, much more.
That's very
And
true.
it cannot be dependent on an oppressive system
No.
that discriminates based on the color of our skin. Right? That's not where we were.
True.
Right? That's not. So where are we going to go with this? It has to be an individual commitment. It has to be a family commitment. It has to be a community. You know, we have a situation right now where we have two national organizations being created.
Okay.
Right? That should not be. You mentioned it. Unity.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We should realize the power that we have when they bring those two together. We have a federation, we have a Congress. of black Canadians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would anybody see any benefit in keeping them separated?
It's
Right.
true.
Right.
And the organizations themselves, a lot of them are struggling because they are dependent on government funding,
That's right.
self-sufficiency, self-reliance, self-dependency.
Mm.
That has to become our daily language,
Right.
our daily currency,
Right.
right? Because we have the power within. Look at how much money we spend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Supporting other business ventures.
Correct.
Why is that money being spent in our community? Right? They will tell you how long a dollar lasts within our community
Yeah.
versus in another community.
Seconds.
Correct. Yeah.
Seconds.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's
seconds.
terrible.
Right?
It's terrible.
The civil rights movement in the United States of America could not have taken place without the faith community
Hmm.
being a leader.
Hmm.
Where's the faith community now?
Hmm.
Where are they? Right? So the problems are out there, and the solutions, are they really that far-fetched? Right?
Mm.
Are they really that far-fetched? No, they're not.
Hmm.
But we have to have confidence, and we have to have the courage
That's right.
to change the day-to-day operation that we normally run by. Like stress,
Mm-hmm.
health,
Yes.
the foods we eat,
Yes.
the people we consult,
Mm.
right
Yes.
enough, for advice.
Mhm.
That has to
It
change,
has
Yes.
to change.
right?
Yes.
Right? I didn't know what allergies were when I was in Jamaica,
Right.
right? I just ate the food, right?
Right.
And I ate as much food as I wanted to,
Mhm.
right? You know, up here you eat that food, you know, you're introducing all these toxins into your body.
Right.
You know, young people dying from heart attacks.
Yeah.
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 Right? This wasn't part of our program,
True.
Was it?
right?
Yeah.
So all of these, so with health, well-being, the faith community, the music,
Yes.
business entrepreneurship,
Right.
education, right? I'm at Ryerson. Well, I graduated just a month ago, right? You know,
Oh, congratulations.
Very
after
nice.
12 years of working on this friggin' degree, but I got it done.
You got it done.
Right, I got it done. But when I look in the classroom, when I look in the hallways,
Mhm.
who am I seeing?
Mm.
I'm seeing everybody else except,
Yes.
Right. Right.
right? Where does that start? It starts at the elementary school level.
Hmm.
Are we doing the right thing there? Are we supporting Johnny in school?
Mm-hmm.
Because if the school is going to tell Johnny that he's on the periphery of history, right? You know, Johnny's going to go home with an inferiority complex.
Of course.
Similar to when ACHA program started.
Correct.
Right? They've gotten better at camouflaging
The wording.
the
Yes.
wording.
Yes.
So we got to be bold. We got to use that highlighter
Mm-hmm.
and make the corrections.
Yes.
Take slave trade out of the history books and
Mhm.
replace it with African genocide.
Right.
And we must demand that, because that is the reality that actually took place.
It's truth.
Don't try to pacify us anymore with slave trade,
Mm-hmm.
because that's as criminal and as brutal as actually what took place.
Right.
Right? Who's going to be the courageous leaders to demand that? You know, I will do it in my spaces, but I can't do it by myself.
No.
Right.
Right? Zero gun violence movement cannot flip that switch. As I said, we don't have the silver bullet,
Mm-hmm.
but rest assured, right? We're going to go down fighting, so that the 20-year-old that didn't think he was going to make it to 20,
Mm-hmm.
he has an opportunity to live a full life.
Right.
That they have that aspiration like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I go to Harbourfront and everybody's smiling, everybody's feeling good and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then I go into Rexdale or I go into Lawrence Heights.
Yeah.
The kids are not allowed to smile. They go to school, they're not allowed to smile again. They're not allowed to be happy,
Hmm.
right? Because everything in their life is
Is not.
violent or negative,
Right.
right? We can do better.
We can. So, Uncle Lou, we have a few seconds left. I would like you to let people know where they can find out more about zero gun violence or the zero gun movement, and find you. Where can we learn more about you? Because this is only a small hour that we had, and
Yeah.
you're so much more.
Okay, so in terms of zero gun violence, so we're not depending on the traditional media to tell our story.
Right.
So you're gonna have to go to YouTube, put in zero gun violence movement.
Right.
You're gonna have to go to Instagram, put in zero. You're gonna go to Twitter and put in zero gun violence movement.
Right.
And if you want to get more on personal stuff, put in Louis March,
Ah.
right, on Twitter, and you'll see what's happening on that daily basis. We have to control the narrative and the content
That's right.
in terms of what's being put out there.
Right.
I'm not going to depend on the Toronto Sun to do that. You got to be joking.
Mm.
Right? So here's an opportunity, yes.
Yeah.
But we have to take it beyond. We have to go further. So you can reach me personally at 416 577-3908. That's 416-577-3908. We have emailed account that says start with Zero Gun Violence Movement. You put in Zero Gun Violence Movement and you'll
Everything
be able to reach
will come
us.
up.
You'll find us.
Beautiful.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My energy level has gone up. I'm better now. Thank you. Thank you, the viewers. Thank you guys for being here today, and of course being with such a powerful man and listening. I hope something has been sparked for everyone out there. Dave, you want to say something before we leave quickly?
Well, once again, just thank you very much for taking the time to come through today. I know we've been trying to go ahead and have this hooked up for a while,
Yes.
but by means, you know what, by the powers that be, you are here in the
I
audience.
think happened in time, but thanks for the opportunity.
Not a problem, sir.
And thanks for putting up with my anger. I didn't even tell you about the Louisville Slugger baseball bat. But it is controlled anger, right?
It's
You're right.
controlled anger.
But at the same time, we still have a lot to be happy about.
Yes, we do.
We just got to find more.
Excellent.
Because we can do better.
Beautiful.
Okay?
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you all next week.
Peace and love, family.